This is Pranav Guha Thakurta from EduTV. Today, we are with the students and we have got a very important topic today, which is the topic is related to our not immediate neighbors, but quite nearby to the Indian continent. But as from last 52 years, there is no relation between Israel and any of the Middle East countries. All of a sudden we noticed last month, UAE, United Arab Emirates, had started diplomatic relation with Israel. So it changed the complete equation of Middle East. I will start with Ms. Siddhi Joshi from Delhi Public School, Ghaziabad, Vasundhara, India. Siddhi, start.
Shattered dreams, scarred hearts, toys in streams of blood, echoing sorrows of millions. And the question remains, will we be together walking towards a more free world for all of us? Delightful greetings of the day to everyone present here. I am Siddhi Joshi, a student representative of Delhi Public School, Ghaziabad, Vasundhara. The historical UAE and Israel peace deal, which was brokered by the United States of America, is a key development in the region of Middle East. The 3 Ds of diplomacy, dinar, and deceit have come together to play an unparalleled role in the predominantly Muslim region of Middle East, which has undoubtedly been a key player in the global arena. So the agreement between Israel and United Arab Emirates promises to establish normal relations between the two countries in various arenas. The agreement could give UAE access to previously off-limit US weaponry, such as advanced drones, and an opportunity to collaborate on technology and healthcare with Israel, who is the leader in both these sectors at a time when combating COVID-19 is every country's chief concern. Israel has aimed for establishing normal diplomatic ties with Arab countries as a strategic goal since a long time, because this signals greater acceptance in Middle East and the potential for commercial ties for a country that has until now conducted very little of its business in its very own region. The peace deal also signals a diplomatic win for the United States of America, for President Donald Trump ahead of the November presidential elections, thus opening direct ties between two of the Middle East's most dynamic societies. An advanced economic policy promises positively to transform the region by spurring economic growth, enhancing technological innovations, and forging closer people-to-people relations. But does this new bag of peace deal hold good for all? As we move forward, we must remember that the Gulf countries did not share ties with the Jewish state as an expression of solidarity with the people of Palestine, who have and are facing generations of injustice without any hopes. Ladies and gentlemen, it is important to note that according to UAE government, the accord immediately stops Israeli plans to annex part of West Bank and provides an opportunity for Israel and Palestinians to renew negotiations to end their conflict. While, on the other hand, Israeli officials use the word temporarily suspended when it comes to their plans of settlements in the region of West Bank. So the difference in language very much represents and sums up the politics that each country's leader confronts. In the case of UAE, Crown Prince Mohammed bin clearly felt compelled to demonstrate that the normal relations with the UAE were not cost-free for the Israelis. And for the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the use of term temporarily suspended is an effort to mollify pro-annexation political groups and factions which have already come forward to criticize the agreement. So without a surprise, the Palestinian leaders have denounced the normalization plan as betrayal by an Arab ally. To many Palestinians, the deal gives Israel the benefits of peace without requiring it to pay the price of releasing its grip over the seized land. It is worth pondering if this is also a signal for our Palestinians' brothers and sisters that other Arab allies are not going to wait for the peace and join hands with Israel eventually, if not immediately. While UAE-Israel peace deal is projected to be an essential step in economic and diplomatic relations of the region and must be welcomed with open hearts, we must also hope that this will eventually lead towards a negotiated resolution to the historical Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Because thousands today are unsure of a future despite every dawn their eyes meet, simply because of a geographical accident, birth in a disputed and seized land. Palestine is an integral part of a world that deserves peace, justice, and freedom like the rest of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Siddhi, and you are on time. Now, I would request Ms. Riyanshi Gambhir from Sun City School, Gurugram.
Right, thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. My name is Riyanshi Gambhir, and I'm from Sun City School, Gurugram. The topic we have at hand today is United Arab Emirates and the Israel relation. I will divide my speech into a few subheadings. Siddhi has already talked about the background of the topic and the clauses of the deal. I will further build up on what she has already told us and talk about the importance of this deal, why it's different from the other deals by Israel, and how third-party countries are reacting. UAE and Israel have reached a historic deal, which will lead to full normalization of diplomatic relations between the two nations. The agreement, brokered by the US President Donald Trump, means that Israel has suspended plans to annex the occupied West Bank. The UAE, which has never fought Israel and has quietly been improving ties for years, said the agreement put a hold on Israel's plans to unilaterally annex parts of the Palestinian area, which the Palestinians view as the heartland of their future state. This move is significant because apart from Jordan and Egypt, Israel does not have diplomatic relations with Gulf Arab states, owing to its long-standing conflict with the Palestinians. Israel had signed peace agreements with Egypt in 1978 and Jordan in 1994. However, despite the absence of official diplomatic relations, Israel has been engaging with its neighbors regarding issues like trade. But this deal will also be focusing on the coronavirus pandemic along with other aspects like tourism as well. Although trade between Israel and neighbors Jordan and Egypt never boomed despite normalization, it's expected to be different with UAE, a federation of 7 emirates. Unlike Jordan and Egypt, the UAE never fought in any of the Arab-Israeli wars. Plus, Dubai is a business hub for the region, and Abu Dhabi is keen to lessen its dependence on hydrocarbons. As soon as the normalization deal was revealed, ministers from the UAE and Israel rushed to open phone lines and unblock internet access, while companies in the two countries announced new pacts. In addition, the accord puts Israel's plan to annex parts of the West Bank on ice, though there are different interpretations of how long the freeze will last. Now I will talk a little about why it's happening now and what factors led to its rise. The UAE's large reserves of oil have made it the second largest economy in the Middle East, and that has allowed it to grow military and economy. Over the past 2 decades, UAE has also focused on curbing Iran and Islamic militancy. For years, we have heard from Gulf leaders about their desire to establish relations with Israel, and it's no secret that it was also excited by the prospect. Abu Dhabi Crown Prince pointed to Israel's agreement to halt its annexation plan as a key factor behind normalization. Analysts argue that mutual distrust of Iran, especially its regional ambitions and nuclear program, was the most decisive catalyst. The Gulf monarchies share Israel's interest in pushing back against the political Islam, which they view as a threat to hereditary rule and a destabilizing influence primarily emanating from Iran, Qatar, and Turkey. While not specifically spelled out in the so-called Abraham Accord, enhanced security cooperation against regional threats, especially from Iran and the network of foreign militias it supports, is a key driver of the deal. Arguably, it was President Donald Trump's unsuccessful effort to ensure a peace deal between Israel and Palestinians that indirectly led to the UAE-Israel Accord. There were a few main factors in the timing. First was the global pandemic. Now that they both the countries need each other's help in combating COVID-19, and they are deeply concerned about the disruptive impact of it, they are particularly concerned about the economic damage and thus are helping each other. Also, given the high stakes, these countries are increasingly looking to Israel to help them find solutions. The other key factor is the increase in regional tensions with Iran. In many ways, this issue has been something both countries have faced for years, but they needed a catalyst to spark action, something which the COVID-19 pandemic triggered. I will talk a little about how the world has reacted. Palestinian officials reacted angrily to the agreement, with their president ordering the Palestinian ambassador of the UAE to return home. They rejected the surprising announcement. They were very offended. Senior Palestinian officials criticized the agreement and particularly the UAE, saying that the country had come out in the open with its secret dealings with Israel. He directed the criticism at UAE's prince by saying that they were sold out by their friends. They declared that the agreement does not serve the Palestinian cause and rather serves the Zionist narrative, and that it encourages Israel to continue its denial of the rights of the Palestinian people and even continue the crimes against the Palestinian people. The Palestinian groups, particularly members of the Palestinian Liberal Organization, took to social media platforms as well to criticize the agreement and particularly expressed their anger at the UAE. Thus rejecting the agreement, they've denounced the plan as a betrayal by an Arab ally. To many Palestinians, the deal gives Israel the benefits of peace without requiring it to pay the price of relinquishing its grip over seas land. They feel it's not fair. The Islamic Jihad Organization and other Palestinian factors organized a demonstration in Gaza City. Leaders of the factions, including Hamas, joined the protest. The crowds went from the main mosques in Gaza City, waving flags and chanting slogans against UAE. They marched the main street and gathered at the Palestine Square in the city's downtown. They carried banners writing, "Palestine is not for sale," and "no normalization," and "no for those who need normalization," and that normalization is a knife in the back of the Palestinian people. Even Iran and Turkey have lashed out at their regional rival UAE over its decision to normalize diplomatic relations. They feel that it was unjustly struck in the back of the Palestinian people and all Muslims. They think it's strategic stupidity, and they declared that all free nations of the world and the oppressed people of Palestine will never forgive the normalization of relations with the criminal Israeli occupation. Turkey too said they will never forgive the hypocritical behavior of the UAE.
Ms. Gambhir, you have half a minute more.
Okay, great. I'll conclude. Egypt, along with Jordan, who have full diplomatic relations with Israel already, said the deal will halt Israeli annexation of Palestinian land. Egyptian president said that this would bring peace to the Middle East. They affirmed that this historic step will contribute to strengthening stability and peace in the region. Now, finally, I would like to conclude my speech with the non-biased and perfectly expressed views of the United Nations. The United Nations Secretary General said that he hoped the normalization of ties between Israel and UAE can help realize a two-state solution with the Palestinians. The Secretary General welcomed the agreement, hoping that it would create an opportunity for Israeli and Palestinian leaders to re-engage in meaningful negotiations that will realize a two-state solution in line with relevant UN resolutions, international law, and bilateral agreement. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Riyanshi Gambhir. Thank you so much. Riyanshi is from Sun City School, Gurugram. Now I request Mr. Abhinandan Kumar Rai to speak on the topic, as he is also a minority gender out here. Yes, Abhinandan, start.
Yes, sir. So first of all, I want to say that why always the relations are built up on similarities? Why not on differences? And on the same topic, we are going to discuss about. Yes. The topic is Israel and UAE relations, but it is similar to that. Good afternoon, everybody. Here is Abhinandan, who is in front of you and have the privilege to speak on such great topic. Now, starting with the question I want to ask that why we all are here to discuss on the topic of Israel and UAE. Why not on UAE and USA? Why not on stating Israel and USA? The topic is, the reason is the differences. The conflicts arrived them at the history. This is the topic. So I start. It is always stated that if you want to learn something, look at the history. And starting from the first, I want to tell you all the history of Israel, how Israel evolved. And this is that. Now, Israel had fought from the starting for its independence. Either we have came to know that Jews, we had studied in class 10 that 6 million Jews were killed in the Second World War. And Israel is a Jewish majority country. Now, what I want to state is that there have been several fights, several wars between the Israel and Arab nations. These both are in the Middle East. Middle East is the majority of Arab nations, Arab people, or the Muslim one. But the topic is that they are the Jewish who are fighting for their independence since long years. Moving forward, let me mention you the topic UAE and Israel. The relations are cooled since decades, but the evolvement, the explosion of these all conflicts arise after the assassination of the Dubai's king, Mohammed Ul Maboud. After this, UAE called via Interpol to arrest Mir Dagan, the director of Israel's Mossad. Let me tell you Mossad also. Mossad is a security agency of Israel, as like RAW of India. So from this all started. After this, UAE banned implied several restrictions over Israel. They close off the imposed trade barriers. They go over that no one is allowed to enter, no Israeli is allowed to enter in the area of that one UAE. So these are the restrictions applied. But when UAE asked that we are going to have a full disclosure, that we have to engage ourselves for the development of the world, they asked for some amount of drones from them for normalizing the relations. And this was rejected by Israel. And they did very good. Now, I'm moving you to the Wikipedia. I have gained this information from Wikipedia, to be very frank. This is that we have several aspects through which we can learn the relations of UAE and of the Israel. These are, we can look over the travel restrictions, we can look over military corporations, medical corporations, sports events, and much more. Elaborating these all, that I want to end with a single statement, these all elaborating that they have done too right at the time of need and done too bad at the time of selfish. Informing you that, as told you earlier, travel restrictions were there. As I am telling you that sports events, there are several sports events happened in UAE, but at that time, no Israeli player is allowed to enter that area through which they can play the game. And this was the work. Now, last one, the medical corporation. Kindly mention to it, the medical corporation, they both united at the time of need. What I stated, that there was a, they united at the time of need when the Etihad Airways landed on the Ben Gurion airport carrying a shipment of medical supplies which will help in COVID-19 pandemic securement. Now, my point over here is that they are united at the time of need. When I keep all these stuff aside, the second point came out is the unofficial talk. Yes, they have the unofficial talk. There are several sources which stated that there is unofficial talk between the ministers or the heads of the UAE and Israel for the full disclosure of what full settlement. And this is because there the Abraham Accord arises. Mention to Abraham first. Abraham refers to the God which preferred two religions, the Jewish and the Arab Muslims. Here also they applied religion. Why always this? Before moving to that, let me clear one more thing, that on 13th August 2020, Israel and UAE signed an agreement mediated by US President Donald Trump. under the peace deal, Israel and UAE will establish full diplomatic relations. These deals includes that they will set up embassies. They had cleaned up the telephonic lines over there, and Israel also stated that they are going to put their plan aside of the annexation of Jordan Valley. So one more point over here. I am not want to need say much more, but I strongly oppose. My views are, I strongly oppose any leader who divides people on the basis of their religion, who divides nation on the basis of their thoughts. This earth is for living, not for conflicts or fight, as we have seen not in only here. When I look in the history, we all study history, we came to know at every second page we have seen fights. Why these? The major reasons are two: the annexation, and the second one is the religion. So, no. Moving forward, I want to state one more political point over here. That is of Donald Trump.
30, Abhinandan, 30 seconds left.
Okay, sir, let me end. Donald Trump was a man who played dirty politics. He want to interrupt in each and every conflicts of two nations. That's not the right. And each and everyone is selfish over here. But the relations that are built up over here should be united. The whole world should be united. We are humans, not the dividers. At end, I want to thank you, EduTV, to give me the privilege to stand over here and say my views. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Abhinandan, with such an energetic speech. I now request Ms. Gargi Mishra from DPSG Vasundhara to speak on the topic.
Thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity to speak up my opinions on the topic UAE and Israel peace deal. So, if we look at the current world dynamics, we know that since time immemorial, the borders were not the constraints on economy of a particular country, on migration, anything of like that. It's now that the borders are playing such a main important role for the people. They are actually making the relations of each other country very impersonal. So if we look at the deal, Israel-UAE deal, we all know that USA has been a very keen supporter of Israel. And if we look at the Israel stand also, the allies of Israel, whether Israel is supporting India, Israel is supporting USA, or any of the country in the world, Israel has been very much prominent with their issues. Israel has been very much trustworthy. So, of course, White House sees Israel as a very good country to hold. And if we look at the dynamics now, both Israel and UAE see Iran as a threat. And the peace agreement itself very clearly states that it's a coalition to actually fight the threat they both are facing from Iran, because many of the countries in Iran who are specifically have majority of Sunni Muslims are threatened by Iranian revolution. So UAE itself, because it has a monarchy and Iran is against the autocratic rule, so UAE threatens of Iran. And of course, Israel being a Jew country itself get a threat from Iran due to Palestine issue. So it's a very diplomatic thing which they both have agreed upon. And before that, Egypt also did a very good thing from getting together with Israel as Strip of Gaza. If we look at in PLO, Palestine Liberation Organization in Palestine, in West Bank, and Hamas in Strip of Gaza, they both have disintegrated. They both have points which are at a very common difference. So because of that, they cannot reconcile and they cannot put forward their want of getting a separate nation, which is two-nation solution. So this gives Israel a very good point to divide them further and make their settlement in West Bank, in Strip of Gaza, and in Golan Heights, and everywhere surrounding Arab settlements in Israeli land. And as far as US is concerned, the US being mediator itself shows that how much Israel is of importance for that country. Being it a Iran deal, there was no going back. If US withdrew itself from Iran deal, whole of the people in that whole of the country, other countries in JCPOA, whether it's UK, France, Germany, all suggested that US is doing a very big mistake if Iran does not stop its nuclear discoveries and its nuclear programs. It is going to be a very big problem for US. But the very big reason which we all are missing here is that US withdrew from Iran deal just to please Israel, because Israel was seeing Iran as a threat to its country, and just to please Israel, US withdrew from that deal. So, and Israel, if we look at the history of Israel, all the wars which Israel fought, whether it's Suez Canal, 6 Days, Yom Kippur, we can see that since its inception, the country is so strong that it can fight so big countries. Like whole of the Arab countries got against this one single small country which did not have proper back from modern world, but still it fought and defeated them. We can see how much power a country holds. And in the current pandemic situation, we can see Israel coming up with so much of vaccination and medication, and it's a very big help for the westernized countries. And if we see India maintains a very good relationship both with Israel and UAE. And if both of these countries come together, then it's a very good breakthrough for India, because then we don't have to get in the rift of pleasing one country and then looking for other, because now we can work together. And as we know, Israel and UAE both are a very prosperous country in their region. And now if they are going to come together and work in matter of trade, technology, economy, we can see how much that region is going to grow. And one thing we all can see, that the reason why US is maintaining such a good eye on these Arab issue and getting them on a talk-to-talk conversation table is that because now US is actually wanting to get itself back from Middle East so that it can invest itself in Southeast Asia, where China is holding is making its hold very prominent. So that's why we can see very recently during the Yemen and Turkey war, also proxy war, US withdrew its forces. So we can see how much US is concerned that the matter here gets stable, so I can focus on Southeast Asia where the economy is more prosperous and all. And as far as we know, Turkey here has can see obviously Strip of Gaza, Hamas, Saudi Arabia, all these prominent Islamic countries have actually they condemned this peace deal. But Turkey here took a very hypocritical stance. Why? Because Turkey initially was in a very good touch with Israel. It maintained a very good economic conditions also with Israel, getting itself back from Israeli situations. One thing which we can also here focus is that one thing which is there to bring light on, if in the coming November, here in the deal when US got itself in deal with Israel and UAE, it mentioned that Israel would stop its annexation to West Bank. But later, Benjamin Netanyahu, the leader of Israel, stated that we would not stop our annexation of West Bank, and they actually pointed out the regions where they are going to capture the region. And this shows...
Ms. Gargi, 30 seconds.
Yes, sir. And this shows how much determined the leader is. And we know that the political situation of both US and Israel are going to change in coming times, because US is facing a presidential election and Israel is also having a coalition government. So the next party president would also going to come and hold the office. So that's why this deal, we can say that we have to wait and watch, because it might be temporary, because if the dynamics change, then the whole Arab-Israeli, then the whole Middle East situation might change. And this might trigger a very big thing for country around. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Gargi. Thank you so much, Ms. Siddhi Joshi. Thank you so much, Ms. Riyanshi Gambhir. And thank you so much, Mr. Abhinandan. One of you will go to the next round. Thanks a ton. All of you spoke very well. And it was very different thing from everyone. and it will be great learning. Fine. Thank you. Bye-bye.